into the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr., and no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, as always, thank you so much for making today's show a part of your day. And coming up, a lot to get to. First of all, the Niners got a big break from the NFL. We're going to dive into that, but also, I'm going to give you my dream 49ers free agency target, who I think could address a massive need on this football team and be a highly impactful player for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to give you the next best choice at defensive coordinator if the Niners miss out on Robert Saleh. Before we do all of that, I want to say thank you to all of the real ones for your continued support of the San Francisco 49ers Report. Because yesterday we surpassed 155,000 subs as the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube. A huge, massive offseason coming up, and I have you covered every single day, every step of the way, with every move, every report, and every rumor. So join the movement. Hit that subscribe button right now. As for that big break that the Niners have gotten from the NFL, this is twofold here. Let's begin with talking about the 2025 NFL Draft. We know it's a big draft for San Francisco, and the Niners are expected to have 12 picks in April. This year's draft coming to you from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Field, the cathedral of NFL football, and the Niners need to knock this draft out of the park, just like they did in 2024. And I think they accomplished a lot in that 2024 draft. Ricky Pearsall looks to be a good player. Renardo Green was awesome at cornerback. Dominic Puni, arguably the best guard in this rookie draft class. Malik Mustafa, hard-hitting bowling ball safety. Isaac Arendo has some pop. So too does Jacob Cowing, and the Niners need to duplicate that because this roster is getting a little bit older. As we saw here in 2024, they were injured once again, and so San Francisco needs to compile a lot of young players on this team, and that's how you become a sustainable winner, and that's how you stay a sustainable winner in the National Football League. As far as the draft goes as well, San Francisco, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, this front office, they have also mastered the compensatory pick formula, and that has given the Niners extra draft picks, and they've mastered that a lot as compared to other teams who don't do business like San Francisco does business. And yes, it gets frustrating when some of the Niners coaches get poached by other organizations, but the Niners also reap the benefits. They have those coaches who have an impact with their team, then they leave, and the Niners get some compensation. The same can be said for coaches as front office executives. And so the Niners' 2025 compensatory picks, as of right now, we know which rounds they're going to be. We don't know specifically where in those rounds they will be. When Rand Carthon left the Niners front office and went to the Tennessee Titans to take that general manager job, we knew at the time that the Niners were going to get a compensatory pick. And we now know it's going to be in the third round. You can get a marquee player there at a position of need. Chase Young leaving San Francisco. That's a fourth-round pick for the Niners. They get a fourth for Sam Darnold as well, and a seventh for Ray McCloud. A third, fourth, and fourth on the compensatory pick formula. That's pretty important for this ball club, considering where they are, what they need to do, and where they're trying to get to. And so the Niners' 2025 draft picks, of course, this is fluid, and it could change. But right now, we know they're slated to select 11th overall. And the thing with drafting 11th, you also draft 11th in every single round with your own picks. And so San Francisco will be back on the board with the 43rd overall pick. And you can get an impact starter right from the jump with that selection. They have 2 round 3 selections, 75th overall, 99th overall. And then they have a couple of fourths, 111 and 137, a round 6 at 185, and a round 7 at 226. And we'll see where those compensatory pick formula equations factor in to the equation for San Francisco. As you see, they have more 7th-round picks right here. And so this is great news for San Francisco going into this massive offseason because they need to add depth, talent, starters, and marquee players who can impact this team for the foreseeable future. And we will see officially how many and where those comp picks fall as we get closer to the NFL draft. As for the Niners' offseason needs, offensive line first and foremost. Offensive tackle at right tackle, center. Goodbye, Jake Brendel, left guard. I would let Aaron Banks walk. Cornerback depth, I like what I've seen, obviously, from Diamador Lenore, but Renardo Green was great as a rookie. But everybody else in that cornerback room outside of Darrell Luter Jr. is going to be a free agent, and so you need some more players there. Kicker, Moody miss. Jake Moody, never dropped the kicker in the 3rd round. Linebacker, even if Dre Greenlaw comes back, you need some more depth there. And if he leaves, you definitely need another player or players alongside Fred Warner. Safety, I'm hoping that Jair Brown can have a bounce-back year in year 3 because Malik Mustafa looks to be a guy, but Talanoa Hufanga, also a free agent. Wide receiver depth, linebacker depth, tight end 2, rounding out the offseason needs for San Francisco. So there's that draft equation as part of today's show, but also there's the schedule component where the NFL last year screwed the Niners. The NFL this year helping out the Niners a little bit. In 2024, the Niners had the most difficult strength of schedule among 32 teams in the NFL. It featured a minus 31 rest day advantage. So in a season that lasts for September, October, November, December, into January, that's 4 months and change, the Niners' rest day disadvantage was negative a month. It's not fair at all. But in 2025, San Francisco is slated to have the easiest strength of schedule based on 2024 records. That's who they're going to face, but also because they finished 4th inside the NFC West, they will play a 4th-place schedule. And so the home teams that the Niners will host at Levi's Stadium, the 3 divisional teams, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams. How about San Francisco this year winning 1 divisional game? What a shocker. Outside of the NFC West, Falcons, Panthers, Jaguars, Titans, Chicago. That's the home slate for San Francisco. On the road, the 3 divisional teams, of course, again, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams. Then the Niners will go to New Orleans to play the Saints. Great place to visit for a weekend. Anything longer than that, I'm trying to hop on a flight and get out of there, but a great party city for a couple of days. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. This is one to watch here. The Colts are playing in Berlin, Germany in 2025. The Niners have a worldwide fan base. The Niners could be the away team in Berlin, Germany. That would be cool. New York Giants, Cleveland Browns, rounding out the away slate. If you are pumped up, and if you are excited, by the way, for this Niners offseason, I can't wait to talk about it and cover it. I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Still to come here on today's show, my dream Niners free agent target and the next best choice behind Robert Saleh to be the Niners defensive coordinator. First, let's pay our bills and give a shout out to our sponsor, our partners, and our friends at Game Time, the only app that you should be using in the ticketing marketplace. Best seats at the lowest price guaranteed. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with our friends at Game Time. Download the app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Prices drop as the event gets closer. You have flash deals and zone deals. Thanks to Game Time Picks, curation makes it easier to find the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed to your favorite events without having to go through thousands of tickets. You want to go to a Golden State Warriors game, San Jose Sharks game, you can do that on the Game Time app. User interface is awesome. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. But it's also not just an app for sporting events. You can go to concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and a whole lot more. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off. Terms apply. First purchase only. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with our friends at Game Time. What time is it? Game Time. We appreciate them for making today's San Francisco 49ers report possible. So we move forward on today's show. And earlier here today, we were talking about the NFL draft, and I gave you some of the offseason needs for San Francisco. And I do think that the Niners are going to have to rebuild the offensive line in the NFL draft partially. There is a free agent target who is the apple of my eye. He fulfills one of the biggest needs on this roster. He's a really good player, and he's young. My dream target for the Niners in free agency is Atlanta Falcons center Drew Dalman. The Niners need to rebuild that offensive line at left guard, center, and right tackle this offseason, and they can address center in free agency with Dalman. Kyle Shanahan has shown a willingness to spend on centers. In this outside zone scheme, he understands how important it is to have a really good center. He signed Weston Richburg to a 5-year, $47.5 million contract in 2018. After that, he signed Alex Mack to a 3-year deal worth $15 million, and then Alex Mack decided to retire. Drew Dalman is only 26 years old, so he can be your center for the foreseeable future. The Atlanta Falcons were running a Sean McVay offense. Zach Robinson was their play caller in OC. He was an understudy for McVay, so Dalman is a scheme fit for what Kyle Shanahan wants to do. His overall Pro Football Focus grade this year among centers, 4th, with a grade of 78.8. His run blocking grade, 79.8, that was 5th. Need to be able to run block in this offense. And his pass blocking grade, not bad, 66.6, that was 22nd at the position. He only gave up 10 pressures, only gave up 1 quarterback hit, and 2 sacks. He's also a heady player too, and then if you sign him, the Niners can still address left guard and right tackle in the NFL draft. If the Niners can't land Robert Saleh, this is the defensive coordinator candidate who I want San Francisco to hire. That's Dennis Allen. And I think he's the best choice to replace Nick Sorensen. He was an elite defensive coordinator under Sean Payton when he was a defensive coordinator with the New Orleans Saints. He is very creative with his coverages on the back end. He does a great job of developing defensive backs. The Niners have some good young ones. Diamador Lenore, Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa, and Jair Brown if he can bounce back. Dennis Allen can help get Jair Brown back on track. If you want to continue to run a 4-3, Dennis Allen runs a 4-3. There's some scheme continuity there. And some people are bashing him saying, the Saints sucked. He sucks. Well, he was a 2-time failed head coach. The good news is he is not getting another head coaching job. Failed with the Raiders, failed with the Saints. So that would give the Niners continuity at defensive coordinator. What's interesting, if you want to see some adjustments from this Niners defense, Dennis Allen had the #1 press man rate with New Orleans. The Niners, since Kyle Shanahan was hired in 2017, have been the #1 zone defense team. So you can see some changes there and aggression there. Dennis Allen relies on 4 to get home. The Niners have the 5th lowest blitz rate since 2017, so that's something similar. And he put together some incredible game plans against Tom Brady when he was the Saints defensive coordinator that had Tom Brady flummoxed, confused, confounded, and Tom Brady couldn't move the football. He's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, and Dennis Allen had the answer going up against him. Very impressive body of work as a defensive coordinator. Some people worry that his temperament isn't a rah-rah guy like Robert Saleh or Jeff Ulbrich. He's too much like Kyle Shanahan, and maybe that's a little bit of a concern, but damn, he's a good ball coach. If you want to give me a follow on X and Instagram, hit me up over there, at Chase_Senior. Get me to 15K followers on X, 35,000 followers and counting on Instagram. Be sure to give me a follow. I appreciate it.